All right, here's another question that was upvoted quite a bit as well. What are the dangers of there in being involved with modern third wave feminist movement as a Bible-believing Christian? Then secondary question underneath that was the Women's March an ungodly message? Okay, so a little bit of context. San Luis Obispo joined in with the rest of the nation to have that the Women's March. From what I understood, there were multiple reasons why people had jumped into that Women's March and marched along. There were women that were there as my guess. I think that there was a predominant amount of women that were there that basically were stating, we're with women. We stand with women. We think women are significant and important in our community. And when there is any hint of whether or not that's stated or real or recognized, especially with some of the inflammatory and derogatory statements that our newly elected president had communicated in the past, I think that's why a lot of women were out there marching. Now, there were other women that were out there marching as a way of, stating their opinion as far as reproductive rights and a variety of other reasons as well. So I think it dovetails in a larger question of what are the dangers of being involved with the modern third wave feminist movement as a Bible-believing Christian. So I've mentioned this before, that first wave feminist movement, for the most part, focused its efforts and raised its voice for women so that they can have voting rights, so that they can own property, so that they can have a more dignified role within culture and society at large. Now, that movement continued to morph over time. And with the dawn of the sexual revolution that was taking place within the 60s and fruition within the 70s and so on and so forth, it began to reshape into what would be known as like second wave and then ultimately third wave feminist movement, which were just sort of reiterations of the first, but with some additions. Some of the later additions had to do with reproductive rights and or pro-abortion type elements. In some cases, some would even argue from a sociological perspective, anti-male rhetoric. So I would say, as far as a third wave feminist movement, I personally, I would say that if you're a Christian, there should be some reserves that you have. I think you should probably not, I would say, want to identify yourself as a third wave feminist, unless you're going to be very, very specific as to how you would define what feminism is and how you wear that and how you define it. Because I would say that if you are a Christian who follows Jesus, who promotes life and so on and so forth, I think the idea, obviously, of abortion should be of grave concern for you, with regard to the murder of unborn children. And I think knowing that is kind of lumped into the feminist movement, second, third wave, to wear that label stating that you are a feminist or a third wave feminist as a follower of Jesus, and also knowing that movement has kind of built into or interwoven into the very fabric of it, abortion, I think that should cause great concern. And I've said this before, but at the end of the day, standing up for women, to give them a voice, to demonstrate that they are dignified and valuable and worth fighting for. Look, Jesus did that. Jesus raised women to a level that was completely different than how the culture at large in which he came from did. So hopefully that's helpful.